Alright. Hello everyone. I am horribly lit, but people have been telling me that they want to see my face. Not quite sure why. But yeah, let's go ahead and break things down in this 1v1 matchup, a human mirror match taking place here on Autumn Leaves. AleX spawning as the green human on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, we're looking at Chaemiko spawning as the blue human on the bottom left. Should be a great matchup here as things do get underway. Standard openings for the most part. Altar of Kings farm. Usually the peasant comes off to build a barracks here, but no, he's gonna, yep, there he goes. Gonna go ahead and start building that barracks right now. Pretty much a similar build over here on the other side, except for Chaemiko much further along, I believe, on his barracks. Yes, much further along on his barracks. So the timing there, a bit interesting. Normally, you know, you build the farm and then you go out, and then after like 10 or like 3 or 4 little slaps there, you go ahead and move your peasant over to build that barracks. Because human has the ability to get 12 supply off of this town hall here, he doesn't need that supply nearly as early. So what that translates to is we're going to see perhaps a 12-second or 15-second lead on that first footman being trained. And then what that then translates into is faster creeping and having a slight advantage. So in a game of WarCraft 3 and a game of any real-time strategy, everyone is trying to min-max, trying to gain a second advantage, and then trying to extend that advantage just a little bit more. And sometimes there's like a bit of a big jump when you get that lucky hit or that final attack on a creep, things like that. Those do add up, but it's the small things in a game that really do build up into an advantage overall. This early scouting footman already out across the battlefield is going to be able to perhaps disrupt here. Meanwhile, the archmage is already coming over with militia, and here comes this archmage. Where is he going? He is heading straight over here to the shop instead. All right, so a footman trying to put some damage down. Is he going to get some damage onto any big targets there? Archmage does get the final hit here. This footman has to be a little bit careful. Actually ventured in a bit too far, and this could actually become a problem for Chaemiko, as Chaemiko, well, takes 320 damage on his low hit point footman now, and may end up just feeding experience to his opponent on accident. Alright, Sasquatch about to get taken down. Sasquatch Cramp about to get taken down. Archmage bringing in a couple of footmen here. Here's the militia. That's going to finish off and perhaps get to level 2 just that much faster. Alright, Claws of Attack +5, a great item there. There's that footman here. Where did a footman get lost? That is the question. That footman is full on hit points. I don't see any lower hit point footman. Is there a dead corpse anywhere? There are... there's the 3 here. Nope, there's a 4th there, so that footman could have perhaps been taken down. And, well, Chaemiko losing control, but did gain a little bit of insight knowing where exactly his opponent is. Thank you to the 2 viewers on Twitch right now, and however you may be watching, however you may be listening, thanks for supporting the channel by watching. If once again, shout out reminder, if you do have a free Amazon Prime subscription, remember to use it. It doesn't have to be on my channel, but go ahead and support content creators out there who bring you games that you love. And a little bit nice of a show. Forest Troll Trapper here gonna get cleaned up, and it looks as though both sides may be able to set up a bit of an economic game. Tech to tier 2 has already been started, but it's not out of the equation that I guess it is a little bit too low on the lumber, so it's going to be difficult to try to set up an expansion here, as both sides are just pretty much playing in their neck of the woods. Level 3 on both of those heroes. Footman wandering, getting ready to wander out. There is an arcane tower, no tech to tier 2 yet, so the expansion attempt is going to be coming across from AleX, as the Archmage is going to be making its way up off to the north here. That is going to be +6 auto attack damage. Going to perhaps buy boots of speed and perhaps now try to place down that pressure, as the tech to tier 2 already 79 seconds done for Chaemiko. Now AleX is trying to build this expansion here. it should end up being quickly constructed, especially with all of these additional peasants nearby. But that is going to be an expensive build, and it will take a little bit of time for that expansion to really pay off. Meanwhile, Chaemiko behind this may be able to set up some sort of rifle caster timing push here and make a play of his own. Archmage is sitting at level 3, and Chaemiko's not putting as much pressure or damage or punishing this expansion as I thought he would. These footmen have not been doing anything. They've been sitting idle. And poor Chaemiko is going to find himself, well, dealing with a much larger army in a little bit, even though it could be further behind in tech. Archmage drops a water elemental here, going to go after this Sasquatch creep camp. We're going to see this army come down across here, and the timing is just bad. All of this timing is just bad. He's going to initiate this creep camp just as his opponent is going to attack him here. So the timing on this is just absolutely brutal as the Archmage tries to clear out this Forest Troll Warlord creep camp now. All right. Going after this Forest Troll Warlord creep camp now. There's going to be quite a bit of pressuring Mountain King. Oh, are we going to see a farm or anything? No, 34 over 38 supply. Can't even start training up the Altar of Kings Mountain King yet. And, well, that could be a little bit of a gift in disguise here if he can start training up quickly, as we're looking at, no, a Pit Lord. All right, so Pit Lord. Okay, so Pit Lord with Cleave as the first ability. I thought perhaps it was going to be a Pit Lord with Rain of Fire to be able to put down a pressure here. What is this cleaving Pit Lord really going to be doing here? Just trying to swipe away at all of these targets. We're going to see perhaps one footman get taken down, and that is going to be it. Water Elemental trying to make its way back over. We're going to see another footman get taken down here, but the damage was already done inside Chaemiko's base. He's sitting at 38 over 32 supply. He's upside down on supply, needs to build 2 more farms, get this Arcane Sanctum, and get it going quickly. Meanwhile, off to the north, AleX is already in a position where his expansion has pretty much paid for itself, pulling out about, should be paying for itself momentarily, as there is a lot invested here, and that tech to tier 2 has now been started. Meanwhile, we're looking at the Pit Lord does have healing, healing wards and claws of attack. A Pit Lord second, that claws of attack was given by the Archmage over to that Pit Lord, so this does become an interesting spot, as the Pit Lord does have Howl of Terror as well. All right, where are these units perhaps going to try and travel off to next? There's level 3 on that Archmage, as well as the Archmage trying to clear out some additional creep camps here. Going to go after this Sasquatch creep camp. The footman, a little bit of healing. Chaemiko needs to pull back with that low hit point footman. Is he going to be able to pull back? Yes, he is going to be able to pull back. There's a healing ward, and that is going to save a couple of these lower hit point footmen right here. Meanwhile, Archmage rushing in, trying to put pressure on that scout tower as it's upgrading to a guard tower here. Pit Lord now gets up to level 3. That is going to be a huge advantage, as all of those footmen are enjoying a little bit of additional health here, being able to stay alive. So that one healing ward really turning the tides on the clearing of that creep camp, and also getting level 3 to that Pit Lord now. Meanwhile, back down onto the south side, we're going to see an elevator drop. Goblin Zeppelin going to go ahead and unload straight behind the lines here. Priest trying to fight back. Arcane Tower needs to go after that Archmage. Archmage is going to be able to push on through right there. And here we go. Low hit point Priest as well. Militia going to go ahead and fight back here. We're going to see some damage across all of these units. There goes another footman here. Meanwhile, the Pit Lord, what is he doing off to the north? He's not doing much. The Archmage is just here by himself, trying to finish things off here. Arcane Tower is able to push back that Goblin Zeppelin. Meanwhile, the Water Elemental being forced back here, and all of these units going to fall back once again. Pit Lord is just taking this time going, you know what? If I'm going to have a free time to run around and play on this map, I'm just going to get a hero level advantage. This Pit Lord is going to get closer, very close to level 4 here. Meanwhile, what is this Archmage going to do? Perhaps, sitting at 800 gold, he needs to get a lumber mill down in order to, harvest lumber a little bit more quickly. 42 over 44 supply, as the Pit Lord still doing rotations and clearing out relatively difficult creep camps to get that much closer to level 4. All right, Goblin Zeppelin on the move here. We're going to see the Archmage come across, drop a Water Elemental. That Water Elemental going to actually take an absolute beating. Pit Lord wants to make its way into this position, and well, Goblin Zeppelin perhaps going to try and come into this position right here. Where is the Archmage? Archmage going to come back across, spot this. There's going to be a little bit of damage. There's going to be 1 shot, 2 shots, as the Goblin Zeppelin now finds itself overhead the towers. As the Pit Lord, is it going to get to level 4 here? It should. Yes, 1 more Kobold Geomancer to take down, and that Pit Lord will reach level 4. All right, still no way to easily spot this Goblin Zeppelin overhead. No flying at all. Dual level 4 heroes for Chaemiko, but the Pit Lord is actually going to start to take the experience lead here in just a moment, as the Archmage, really the only target, the only unit that could attack up, is being forced to stay back just in case this Goblin Zeppelin drops. Now behind all of this, AleX has been able to mine a large amount of gold, build infrastructure behind this, has a Mountain King, going for flying machines, dual arcane sanctums, and also a castle. So no slouch here at all either. Meanwhile, Militia trying to expand into the center portion of the map. Water Elemental, is it going to find some way to get some damage here? All right, here we are. Here we go. Water Elemental. Are we going to see some damage? I'm going to get in some splash damage here. And now Arcane Tower is here. Goblin Zeppelin going to try and retreat back, trying to get some damage onto that Goblin Zeppelin. Meanwhile, here are some repairs. The repairs are not going to be enough. The Archmage is going to tip things over just a little bit too much here, as the peasants are now with bags of gold. All right. A little bit of damage going back the other way. Water Elemental perhaps going to get cleaned up here. Footman trying to just clean things up again. There goes another Water Elemental getting taken down. There goes a Footman. A little good bit of burst of experience once more. But still, it's just a Pit Lord's game to play. The Pit Lord with plus 18 damage is still wandering around the map and looking to get large amounts of cleave damage across all of these targets. Well, yeah. Just perhaps going to clean up all of these units rather easily. You can see the Enforcer also trying to maximize damage. There goes another item there. No, it's the Scroll of the Beast. The Footmen actually have the backpack upgrade. Enough insight to get the backpack upgrade there, as we're now getting in a scout tower perhaps to be upgraded again. Off to the north side here. One or two quick priests here, Archmage there. We're going to perhaps make our way back down to the south. Goblin Zeppelin easily opening up, clearing up the trees here, as the... Oh, this is a problem. The Mountain King sitting inside the base. Paladin is going to join in, but he's going to find himself in a weird spot where there's not very... Oh, Goblin Zeppelin, Goblin Shredder easily getting taken down there. Perhaps going to get picked all back up here. Are we going to see some damage? There goes another Water Elemental once more. Archmage trying to chase after. A couple more peasants do need to be trained. No more Water Elementals, as we've retrained to Blizzard. And a couple of peasants have been lost here. A new Goblin Shredder perhaps could get added in, as the Goblin Zeppelin cleaned up that Goblin Shredder there. 76 supply compared to 46. Chaemiko is very low on lumber here. Look, I don't know what building that was, but I believe it was canceled. Here, Archmage still wandering around, going to go after another, well, relatively difficult location here. Forest Troll Shadow Priest should be providing a lot of healing across the board. And now in comes, well, Mountain King, Mortar Teams, Paladin. This is the 3-1-1 heroes that have been sitting back after all this time, and this place is definitely NWS not worth saving. The army of AleX is just too large at 76 supply compared to 82. Now here comes the question. Is the hero level advantage going to be too much? Pit Lord now sitting at level 5. Howl of Terror. Major damage reduction. The Mortar Teams are far enough in the back, though. And the Pit Lord is, able to slice and dice. Meanwhile, the Mortar Team is trying to lob attacks against those priests in the back. And suddenly you see how effective this army damage is. There goes one. Are we going to see some more? There's some more Holy Light. The units are just trying to slice and dice their ways through. There goes another Footman here, as they're still chasing after all of these targets. All right. More damage getting sliced through. You can see large chunks of hit points just falling off of the Mortar Teams and all of these other targets. Are we going to see another Holy Light? We're going to see some more damage. There goes another swipe. There goes another target again. Another mortar team could get taken down, and the paladin perhaps unable to get a holy light there. 50 over 52 supply, chasing down and punishing a 70 over 82 supply. Not only did I catch Crota live, I also caught Professional asking if this is live. What a day. Yes, yes. All right, coming back through, coming down. All right, a little bit more swiping here. We're going to see the Goblin Zeppelin perhaps get shot down here in just a moment. No, Pitlord trying to retreat back. Archmage can come across to the side, and now going to be trying to lay down a couple of blizzards. Mortar teams are able to lob in big attacks and big damage, and the Pitlord needs to find a way to push down damage across that back line. Now, I was surprised by this. Why use the healing ward when you're not actually in a fight right now? You have so many priests, and those mortar teams are going to be trying to lob attacks as those units are on the move again. However, the Archmage is able to, well, disrupt the mortar teams from attacking quite easily. Just throw down a blizzard. That range is rather far, as well as we're looking at a lot of damage going down across the back line here. No, not actually getting those peasants who are trying to repair. Mortar teams are going splat, though. There's that blizzard now raining down. Is it going to be enough? It does not look like it. There's so many targets, and I believe we've actually started to hit max damage on that blizzard. All right, Pitlord looking to slice and dice his way through. There goes a couple more. Mountain King has dived into the backside. Archmage now gets up to level 5, level 3 blizzard. We're going to see some more damage across multiple targets here, and so much damage. Knights, priests, so many targets just constantly getting killed here as the paladin trying to back away. There goes another peasant again. Are we going to see the Archmage? Yes, all of those peasants are just properly lined up to get belted down by a blizzard as the Spellbreakers are now inching forward here. 58 supply compared to 49. So much damage. Peasants on long-term walk back as there's 6 minutes of mining left on the main base. All right, Archmage still putting in pressure. Pitlord going to try to dive in after all of these targets. There's going to be a swipe. Are we going to see a Stormbolt, Holy Light perhaps to try to finish off the Paladin? No, we do not. This is still 3-1-1 against all of these targets. Coming back around. Here we are. Here we go. Going to go ahead and engage Pitlord trying to fight his way through. Spellbreaker trying to fall back here. That Spellbreaker, yes, Staff of Sanctuary for the save, but what about the Pitlord? Pitlord may need the Scroll of Town Portal in order to protect himself, and that's exactly what he does. Units all fall back here. Staff of Sanctuary there, no third hero at all. Peasants still with some long distance mining, the long walk back home. And, well, the Pitlord slowly getting healed up by priests as well. Hey, Spiral, how are you doing? Off to the north. Well, we're going to have a 4-1-1 hero combination for a very short time before we see a double level up into a 4-2-2. And, well, AleX still has that economic advantage. That economic advantage of gold, however, sometimes if not played correctly, just turns into experience on enemy heroes. And that's what we're looking at right now. Dual level 5 heroes for Chaemiko. On that Archmage and that Pitlord. Pitlord could even perhaps go for a Doom Guard. And with the Doom Guard, well, oh my gosh, this is just such a weird spot to be in. Doomguard trying to finish off all of these targets. Archmage going to come in, try to get in Blizzard, trying to take down a couple of those guard towers. And well, Pitlord going to be in a little bit of a tough spot. There goes one tower. There goes another Scroll of Town Portal to perhaps try to back away. Stormbolt and Holy Light not going to be enough to finish off that Doomguard there as the mortar teams show up to the party wondering what they missed. Overall supply count is very different now. 63 supply compared to 73. It seems like Chaemiko has really made up a lot of that ground as we see a couple of Staff of Sanctuary trying to save that Pitlord with a lot of, well, healing now. Yep, Staff of Sanctuary, one of those items that are both useful in and out of combat. Easier way to heal that Pitlord very effectively. Knights now getting into position. This Pitlord is, well, needs a little bit more experience, or needs a little bit more healing. Priests now trying to make their way out. However, there are Griffins out here onto the battlefield as well. Pitlord does have the ability to attack air, and now are we going to attack? And there's a major blizzard coupled with level 2 Howl of Terror. Major damage reduction here, as you guys can see, as the units are now trying to back away. Pit Lord is going to finish off this Griffin Rider, needing 2 or 3 more shots. There it goes. It does get taken down, and this gives level 6 to the Pit Lord. Doom Guard is on the table. Militia now looking to fight back here against all of these targets. Has to be really careful, though. The mortar teams can really finish things off. And what is going down here? This knight just ventured far, a little bit too far, but there is a main fight happening here. Oh, Staff of Sanctuary. Staff of Sanctuary against a Doom Guard, and that is a way to, I guess, handle the Doom Guard there. You're going to lose the knight regardless, but the Doom Guard is now back at home inside in a really tough spot. Are we going to see some heals? Scroll of Town Portal. There's a potion of healing first. Doom Guard trying to swipe his way through, trying to take down some of these knights. So much damage. Scroll of Town Portal. Are we going to see some dead knights? One dead knight. Are we going to see another? No, that one able to get away as the Doom Guard is now inside the base here. Is he going to perhaps just stomp and then, yes, rain of fire here? There you are. All of these peasants are going to be in a major bit of trouble. There's some damage. There's some more damage, trying to take down all of these peasants here. So completely, well, oh, that peasant is staying alive at 6 hit points. Doom Guard. All right, so needing another 60 or 70 seconds to cast now. We're looking at the holy, well, Pit Lord gonna get taken down here. Inner Fire was stolen by those Spellbreakers. Knight perhaps needs to get Staff of Sanctuary to back home, as we're gonna look at another Water Elemental getting taken out here. Is that gonna give Archmage level 6? No, it is not. Still 14 experience shy, as well, the units are going to get ready into position. There's Blizzard. There's that raining down so much damage. Is it going to be enough, as the Archmage is just trying to hold the line here and take down this knight? All right, a lot of guard towers, a lot of damage. Scroll of Town Portal trying to outbound here. They're going to be able to, well, reposition themselves, and now reposition themselves in that front line spot. All right, Archmage, we're going to go ahead and Blizzard. That's going to be a lot of damage. Level 6 now on the Archmage. Archmage does get Storm Bolted. Is he going to try to mass teleport out there? Mountain King could be in a little bit of trouble. There's a mass teleport, and are we going to see a Storm Bolt onto him? Archmage able to teleport out at 130 hit points. Scroll of Regeneration. No invul potion there. Knights trying to regroup. 65 supply compared to 77. Chaemiko is in terms of utilizing his resources, outplaying AleX. He is down by, what, 8,000 gold about, but somehow is still able to stick in this game with more powerful heroes. The majority of the creep camps have already been cleared out. It is very difficult for AleX to try to neutralize the hero level advantage, as the Pit Lord now makes his way across the inside here. Are we going to perhaps see another Doom Guard, another Doom Guard get summoned up here? Archmage going to get ready, get into position, and that would actually kind of be silly here. No more gold at the gold mine, and now this Altar of Kings about to get taken down. Archmage, Blizzard gonna go ahead and rain down all of these guard towers, taking quite a bit of damage, including that arcane damage there, or arcane tower damage there. Archmage now trying to push back the other way. Do we see the Doom Guard being used? No, we do not. There's a Howl of Terror instead. There's the Doom Guard, and that knight, well, is on its dying breath right here. Pit Lord could be in trouble. We see a Staff of Sanctuary. We do. There's Blizzard now raining down, trying to protect. There's Invul Potion as well, and that knight is about to get taken down once more. All right, are we going to perhaps see a stomp here? Stormbolt onto the Doom Guard. There's a stomp. We could see some Rain of Fire as well. There's another Staff of Sanctuary trying to protect, as the Doom Guard is just, well, suffering large amounts of damage. Meanwhile, we're looking at Blizzard. Is the Pit Lord going to be able to finish off any of those targets? Holy Light able to save and able to teleport back to the other side. All right. Things are pretty much wide open right now. The Doom Guard perhaps going to try and finish off all of those buildings. The Rain of Fire coupled with Blizzard taking down the remaining towers. One priest was lost in that exchange, though. 60 over 82 supply compared to 78 over 82. Still long distance mining by Chaemiko. While we are speed building this southern expansion here, the castle is about to get taken down. Doomguard with that chaos damage, really bringing in a lot of that damage per swipe as it deals full damage here. Spellbreakers going back the other way. Are we perhaps going to look at a couple of cripples? No, we are not. Doomguard still has a little bit of time left. And now, are we going to see a stomp? No, we don't. The Doomguard just kind of acting as the gatekeeper, as the 4-2-2 heroes, unable to really challenge well, the dual level 6 hero combinations. All right, there's some Blizzard. There's going to be some damage. There's a Stomp. And, well, a lot of damage onto that Doomguard. Doomguard going to get taken down, opening up that front door. And the Archmage quickly says, you know what? I can get out of here. Mass teleportation to get out of a dicey spot. But, well, should have aimed that just a little bit better. Actually caught in between the trees right now. Needs to take down this farm if he wants to make its way out. Does Chaemiko realize it? It doesn't look like he realizes it just quite yet. May have to, well, mass teleport again to get back into the right spot. Where's that Pit Lord going? I don't know. All right. Pit Lord making its way back down. Are we going to see another mass teleport off to the north? Oh. And there's the Doomguard. Gonna take down a Griffin Rider each time, and now trying to swipe this back line. All right, Griffin's gonna go after a couple of these peasants. Meanwhile, we're looking at a little bit of damage. Pit Lord could be in trouble trying to get away from all of those knights here. There's another Holy Light trying to keep things in, well, together, as the Archmage currently okay. Pit Lord fighting his way through, gonna try and, well, swipe his way out of a tough spot here. There's a Staff of Sanctuary, a lot of damage. Pit Lord down to 500, down to 400, could be in a trouble. Are we gonna see a Staff of Sanctuary onto that Pit Lord? Pit Lord down to 200, 300, Invul Potion transfer in time, and now gonna be able to swipe a little bit longer, but only 7 seconds, still fighting its way through. Pit Lord continuing to battle up. That's gonna be a mass teleport. Is the Archmage gonna be able to teleport out? No, Stormbolt onto the Archmage. Archmage now in trouble. Scroll of Town Portal has been purchased. Now just going to use Blizzard instead to break out of this tough spot. Pit Lord sitting at level 7. Archmage falls at level 4. Archmage down to 65 hit points. Is he going to scroll Town Portal? No, he doesn't. Dual level up for the Paladin and the Mountain King. And now suddenly this game is upside down as we're at 61 supply. Going up against 49 with some of those heroes getting taken down. However, this could still go the other way here. The Pit Lord trying to go after the other targets. That Knight trying to run back. Pit Lord with the boots of speed, unable to catch up as the Doomguard. Oh, the Doomguard was sent to the far back here. Are we going to see a Stomp? We are. And we're going to see a bunch of peasants get taken down again and again as the Pit Lord still trying to chase after some of those targets. All right, Pit Lord about to get, well, out of mana, so that's the important part here. Paladin has no easy way to heal. Staff of Sanctuary is not available, well, only on the Paladin. The Archmage needs to get resurrected. The Pit Lord still fighting his way through. And what is this Pit Lord going to be doing here? Pit Lord trying to dive into position, going after these arcane towers. All right, Pit Lord cooldown is ready to go again. And there you are. There's going to be another fresh run, just getting summoned up amongst the battle, and there you are, a go. There you go. Doomguard going to go ahead and, well, try to finish off all of these targets. The Doomguards, however, have to be very careful against those Griffins. Oh, Staff of Sanctuary doesn't save that Knight. That Knight gets taken down. There goes another. All right, so the, well, Pit Lord is still fighting amongst all of these targets here. This is going to be even more damage. One more attack onto that priest could take it down. We're looking at Cleave and, well, a bunch of peasants biting the dust again. More long distance mining. This base was shut down here. No resurrection on the Archmage at all, as the Pit Lord is looking for easy targets. 83 supply. We're looking at the Pit Lord. Perhaps he shouldn't have doom guarded that priest, but instead doom guarded a Griffin. At the same time, he wanted that doom guard to, well, pop up quickly, and a lower hit point target actually makes quite a bit of sense. A little bit of mana needed, or a lot of mana needed on this Pit Lord in the next 60 seconds if he wants to, well, continue doing what he's doing, so to speak. All right, Priest now trying to back up here. Going to get into a little bit of heals. Clarity Potion perhaps on the Pit Lord here to heal mana. And getting all of that mana back is still the main point in this game. 35 supply here, and now we're looking at, are we looking at a resurrection of any heroes? I don't know if we have the Archmage. No, Archmage is back out onto the battlefield. There's a Scroll of Regeneration as well. 56 supply compared to 47. Long distance mining, that long trek, that walk of shame, as we're looking at Chaemiko also resurrecting his Archmage, and that will need 50 seconds more. Doomguard venturing forward, perhaps gonna try and find where that army is, and then just quickly cast Doomguard and get it back on cooldown again. That may be the plan here. Is he looking for it? He's going to find it. He's going to find it. There's the Doom Guard. And, well, I thought he cast Doom Guard. There he goes. Stormbolt. Oh, Pit Lord could be in trouble, though. Unit's trying to get away. It's Orb of Slow, making that Pit Lord very slow. Another bash hitting onto that mount from that Mountain King. There's a Holy Light. Mountain King trying to get away. Spellbreaker actually getting in front is going to be enough as the Spellbreaker doing a little bit of body blocking right there. And that was huge. Meanwhile, do we see the Griffin Rider? Yes, with that Doom spell on it. We're looking at the or perhaps the Pit Lord needing to pick up an Invul Potion, picks up an Invul Potion, and now trying to hide back the other way. Needs to find a way to regroup with the Priest to heal up. That is going to be the big deal. Meanwhile, this building, all of this infrastructure is probably all NWS right now. As the Doom Guard now comes in from behind, we're going to see the Griffin Riders really take that down and really shut it down before it was able to do large amounts of damage. Meanwhile, mass teleport back off to the north side here. We're looking at big damage. Archmage trying to finish off against that Griffin Rider. Griffin Rider about to get taken down. And, well, plenty of knights to continue to attack and heal. Priest are now healing up nicely as well, so that Doom Guard is back up to 440 hit points as the Pit Lord tries to finish things off here. More long distance mining. Meanwhile, the main army, 433, trying to catch up to this highly mobile army with that level 7 Archmage. Gonna go ahead and staff a Sanctuary that night, send him back home, and heal him back up. Archmage gonna go ahead and mass teleport before the Mountain King gets close enough and, well, gets the heck out of dodge. Those tight spots, those close corners, close shaves. This has been exactly what Chaemiko has needed to stay in this game, forcing AleX to just constantly wander around the map. And we can see, was that a mechanical critter? That's a I think that's a mechanical critter. All right. Stormbolt finding the back of the Pit Lord. Yeah, that rabbit is moving a little bit too directively. Meanwhile, Pit Lord trying. See, you can't even see it on the minimap. All right, coming back around. Pit Lord, mass teleport. Where are they gonna run off to? Mountain King. All right, staff of teleportation. Gonna go ahead and head back home to try and heal up. Pit Lord needs to find a way to heal up. He did cast Doom Guard again, and just bringing Doom over and over and over. Every 2 minutes, another unit dies. And that's just how the game's been playing. The Pit Lord continuing to take damage. Stormbolt and Holy Light, but the Mountain King and the Paladin are not level 5 yet, only level 4 and level 3, and because of that, the Pit Lord seems to be okay, trying to stay, trying to hold back this army. Militia fighting inside here. Staff of Sanctuary for the heals again, as unit after unit is just constantly falling. Mortar teams trying to retreat back, but they're just going to be moving a little bit too slow. There goes another Stormbolt Holy Light trying to keep all of these units alive again. Pit Lord could be in trouble, down to 400 hit points, but does use an Invul Potion, so that's going to be one dead knight. We're going to see perhaps some more dead units fall again, as we're looking at the knight trying to get away. 51 seconds before we see another Doom Guard here, as that knight does get taken out. The peasant's going to get cleaned up here. Pit Lord could be in trouble. Stormbolt, Holy Light. Pit Lord down to 300 hit points and falling very quickly. Now going to try and retreat back here. There's going to be another 1-2 combination. No, it is not going to be the case. Archmage backs up here to try and save this Pit Lord, who does need a lot of healing. Priests are going to be trying to heal. All right, mana, a lot of damage. Mass teleport. Is he going to mass teleport away the Pit Lord? Pit Lord, Stormbolt onto the Archmage to prevent it. And now, what's happening here? There's going to be a Dispel Magic. Pit Lord gets taken down. Level 4 now onto the Mountain King. The endless chain of doom has been stopped. The Archmage got storm bolted, so he was not able to get the oh my gosh, save that Doom Guard. Chaemiko now in some serious trouble. 33 supply compared to 35. Hero level advantages only matter if your hero is alive, and well, right now obviously that is not the case with Chaemiko's Pit Lord knocked out. Level 8 Pit Lord knocked out. What's just as important is that Doom was about to be ready again to take another unit away. More long distance mining. What is happening here? Oh my goodness. Finishing off the Paladin currently fighting back here. 4 units surround, but not going to matter. This is going to be another dead knight right there. The divine shield on that paladin lasting 30 seconds. All right, coming back down to the south side here. Mortar teams continuing to lob attacks. We could be looking at more damage. Spellbreakers going after some easy targets. Griffin going to try and engage or bash onto a Spellbreaker here. Staff of Sanctuary, but that is going to be the game. Chaemiko taps out with AleX outlasting his opponent. A great exchange inside the base. Storm bolting the Archmage to prevent the mass teleport that would have saved the Pit Lord. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below. Look at that hero score difference. Oh. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.